You want to be loved, seen, and understood, but when that connection begins to form, something inside you pulls back. And suddenly, you're sabotaging the very thing you wanted most. It's frustrating, it's confusing, and it feels like you're trapped in a loop you can't break. You might be thinking, I don't push people away. But pushing people away isn't always obvious. It can look like overanalyzing someone's every move, convincing yourself they don't really care, fixating on small mistakes they make, using them as reasons to distance yourself, holding on to unrealistic expectations that no one can meet, so you always have an excuse to leave, avoiding vulnerability because you fear being judged or betrayed, sabotaging relationships by ghosting, withdrawing, or rejecting someone before they can reject you, expecting others to meet your needs without expressing what those needs are. Does any of this sound familiar? These are all ways of creating emotional distance, even when you crave closeness. And the worst part? You might not even realize you're doing it. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this happens, how it's tied to your past, and, most importantly, how you can break free and start building the connections you deserve. Stick with me, because I promise this will change the way you see yourself and your relationships. Why you push people away? Let's start with the hard truth. This behavior isn't random. It's a defense mechanism deeply rooted in your subconscious, often stemming from past emotional wounds. Think back to your early relationships, maybe with a parent, or someone significant in your formative years. If those relationships were inconsistent, dismissive, or hurtful, your brain learned a dangerous lesson. Closeness equals pain. Now, as an adult, even though you crave connection, part of your mind perceives intimacy as a threat. So, you unconsciously push people away to protect yourself. This cycle is often fueled by an internal narrative you've been carrying for years, maybe even your whole life. A narrative that says, I'm not good enough. People always leave. If I let someone in, they'll hurt me. As long as this narrative runs the show, no amount of love, reassurance, or connection will ever feel safe. But here's the kicker. This behavior doesn't just protect you from hurt. It also keeps you isolated, stuck, and yearning for something more. Why craving connection feels so conflicting? Let's break this conflict down. On one hand, we're biologically wired for connection. Our brains release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, when we experience love, affection, and intimacy. That's why we long for closeness so deeply. But on the other hand, your brain's number one job is to protect you from harm. If your past taught you that love equals pain, your brain will do everything it can to keep you safe, even if that means pushing people away. It's like having one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake at the same time. The good news? This conflict doesn't have to control you forever. You can retrain your brain to see connection as safe, meaningful, and something you're worthy of experiencing. Let's talk about how. Step 1. Recognize the pattern. The first step to breaking this cycle is awareness. Do you notice yourself pulling away when someone gets too close? Second-guessing their intentions or assuming the worst? Finding reasons to withdraw, even if they're small? These are fear-driven responses meant to protect you. But the truth is, the people you're pushing away could be the very ones who would enrich your life. Step 2. Understand the root cause. Why do you push people away? For many, it comes down to fear. Fear of rejection, abandonment, or loss of control. These fears likely come from past experiences, maybe unreliable caregivers, bullying, or toxic relationships that taught you to associate closeness with pain. But here's the thing. Your fear, while valid, isn't rooted in reality. Not everyone will hurt you. Your mind is projecting past experiences onto current relationships, clouding your ability to trust. The key is to challenge these assumptions and rewrite the narrative. Step 3. Practice vulnerability in small steps. You don't have to pour your heart out all at once. The goal isn't to let your guard down completely. It's to find a balance between protecting yourself and letting others in. It's healthy to be cautious and not trust everyone easily. But let's address the fact that this fear isn't always grounded in reality. Not everyone is out to hurt you. This is where boundary circles come in. Imagine your relationships in layers, from acquaintances to close friends to your inner circle. Start by gauging how much you can trust someone in the outer layers before gradually letting them closer. This approach allows you to protect yourself without shutting people out entirely. Start with small acts of vulnerability, like sharing a personal story, admitting when you're feeling down, or expressing gratitude to someone you care about. Over time, you'll build confidence in opening up without fear. Step 4. Reframe your thoughts about rejection. One of the biggest barriers to connection is the fear of rejection. But here's a mindset shift. Rejection isn't about you. Most of the time, it has more to do with the other person's preferences, priorities, or insecurities than your worth. Instead of seeing rejection as a reflection of your value, view it as redirection. It's not the end of the road. It's a signpost pointing you toward the relationships that are truly meant for you. This mindset makes it easier to take risks and open yourself up to new connections. Step 5. Build emotional resilience. Pushing people away often stems from a fear of emotional pain. To break this pattern, you need to build resilience, the ability to process emotions in a healthy way and recover from challenges without shutting down. Here's how to do it. Name your emotions. When you feel the urge to pull away, pause and identify what's going on inside. Are you scared, angry, or feeling rejected? Giving your emotions a name can reduce their intensity and help you process them more effectively. Learn to self-soothe. Create a list of grounding techniques for when you feel emotionally overwhelmed. These might include deep breathing, physical activity, or listening to calming music. Over time, these tools can help you manage difficult emotions without resorting to distancing yourself from others. Challenge negative thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking, "They're going to hurt me," or "This won't last," ask yourself, is this based on evidence, or is it my past speaking? Then replace those thoughts with more balanced ones, like, "I can handle this even if it's uncertain." Set realistic expectations. No one is perfect, and no relationship is without flaws. Building resilience means accepting that challenges will come, but you're strong enough to navigate them without pushing people away. Develop a routine for self-care. Resilience grows when you prioritize your mental and physical well-being. Create daily habits that nurture you, like journaling, meditating, or staying active, so you're better equipped to face challenges. Step 6. Create a vision for connection. Ask yourself, what truly matters to you in a meaningful relationship? Reflect on the values that are most important to you, such as trust, respect, or open communication. Get specific about what makes you feel safe and connected to someone. When you have a clear vision of your values and needs, it becomes easier to recognize the qualities that are essential for building trust and meaningful connections. For example, if honesty is important to you, practice being honest with yourself and others. By aligning your actions with your values, you'll attract connections that resonate with what truly matters to you. Imagine what your life could look like if you stopped running from the connections you desire. If you let go of fear, opened up, and allowed people to see the real you. The fact that you're here, watching this video, means you're ready to make a change. And I'm so proud of you for taking this first step. Remember, healing is a process, but every small step forward brings you closer to the life you deserve. Pushing people away when you crave connection is a self-sabotaging cycle, but it's one you can break. You can transform the way you relate to others by recognizing the pattern, understanding its roots, practicing small acts of vulnerability, reframing rejection, building resilience, and creating a vision for connection. The goal isn't to let your guard down completely. It's to find a balance between protecting yourself and letting others in. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more content like this. Take care of yourself and your relationships. You deserve it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.